Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Good morning, Dorothy.
Morning, Bill.
The calendar says we're in March. We're in spring as of what, March 21st?
Something like that, yeah.
And the pollen
It has descended upon us like a plague.
The pollen on our cars tells us it's spring.
Oh, yeah.
But it's, 80 degrees one day, 55 degrees the next.
Yeah, good old North Carolina weather.
But you know what really tells you it's spring?
All the flowers.
When planting season officially begins.
Yeah, I know. I got dirt under my nails.
How many people do you know that put plants in too early because they had a couple of warm days, and then they come out and there's a morning frost and they go, oh my gosh, my greatest plans were just foiled?
That sounds like me.
Well, we're going to, on one level, we're going to be speaking today with Rachael Turecamo, who, there was an article in the Pilot back in November called Here's the Dirt on Seedy'S Plants. She's the owner of Seedy'S Plants. But what we're really going to try to capture is not just the dirt on Seedy'S Plants, but the dirt on Rachael.
Oh, okay.
Because she is a very interesting lady who is originally from Long Island, who's a transplanted Southerner with her 2 sons here in Moore County and has been here 10 or 12 years, I'm guessing. But she's become part of the subculture of Moore County, which is entrepreneurial in nature, free-spirited, and a very interesting background. Rachael, I can't wait to start a conversation with you because I think we could sit here for 2 hours and talk about some of your motivations, some of your inspirations, and your courage to step out. And you started Seedy'S Plants in Aberdeen. When did you start that?
So I started my plant business out of my garage, and I started in May. And at the time, I was working for a startup company in horticulture that we were developing AI for like an AI chatbot and AI landscape design for somebody who is just surfing the internet and wants to upload a photo and get all of the information on, how to create something with their yard.
Your experience prior to this startup is pretty varied.
Yes.
Your resume looked very interesting. Tell me a little bit about some of the background experience you had that got you to the point where you just started a Seedy'S Plants business.
Well, in order to do that, I think it would be better for me to kind of explain why I have such a varied background.
Okay.
When I was a teenager, I started working at a garden center, and I don't know how many people get this lucky, but I just knew that's what I wanted to do.
You are lucky.
At 15, I knew this is it. I'm going to be an owner of a garden center. And so everything that I did subsequently was really to become somebody who could be not just a owner, but good at it. I was very fortunate growing up on Long Island. It's a weird microcosm for gardening. People spend a tremendous amount of money on their gardening. They're very into it. And a good portion of that, I think, is because they live on postage stamp properties.
Yeah. And a shorter season, too.
A shorter season, but there's the famous Hicks Nursery in Westbury, New York, and among other places there. And so that's part of the culture of where I'm from. That's a big major influence in what I wanted to do. And so from there, I made the decision I'm going to acquire all of the skills it takes to become not just a garden center, but one day to be a top 100 garden center. So I knew I needed marketing. I needed more plant knowledge. I needed to really learn how to do design efficiently and effectively so that I could run the business properly. So I've worked for landscape construction companies on Long Island, down here in Moore County. I've worked for an automotive company, Cox's Double Eagle Harley,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see aggressive marketing. I learned marketing and went to college for horticulture, and then went to college for business administration and marketing.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Empire State College.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And so taking all of those experiences collectively, I knew that I could at least be able to effectively lead people over time
Right.
to create this dream.
Your parents obviously raised you well.
I
You
appreciate it.
well, I mean, it seems like at a young age of 15 or 16, you kind of knew what you wanted to do, but the underlying theme I'm listening to in between the lines is you take responsibility for your own life.
Yeah.
And that's huge because most people don't. They kind of get up in the morning and they'll look out at the sky and decide how they feel, or they'll see what the flow of the water is and decide which way they're going to go. But you've kind of, it seems like you've sort of owned your own life since you were in high school and college.
Sure.
And you were directed. You put yourself on a certain lane. That's pretty admirable, and it's pretty rare.
I appreciate it, but it's a combination of, again, and I hate to say this, but I really and truly believe in the fact that I was extremely blessed and lucky. And the luck was born out of, like you say, my parents.
Yeah.
Part of it was, the influences of people that I've worked for in the past.
Yeah.
Getting exposed to the right people at the right time. That's just a gift from above. But the discipline part of it was becoming a parent. You learn that if you don't like Johnny, if you don't like your kid in that moment, you're like, well, I'm the leader here. So what am I doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And that is freeing. Taking complete ownership of something. It brought me so much peace. So I appreciate you saying that, but I would say it's just a combination of luck and being surrounded by the right people.
You're the oldest child?
No, I'm the youngest.
Really? Mm-hmm. How many siblings?
Just my brother and I.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You speak like an oldest child. You do. You moved here how many years ago?
10.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And you decided to call it home.
Mm-hmm.
And you have affiliated yourself very closely with the renaissance that's going on in downtown Aberdeen. As a matter of fact, I was fortunate to meet you through Nicola Squires, who I think you have done some things at her high-octane coffee shop.
Yes.
To tell me how you all met, and because it's sort of like a look into how you're building your Seedy'S plant business.
Yeah. So I was on a plane, actually, flying from a trade show for that startup that I was working for. And I'm 35 now, and I just came to the conclusion, I want this so bad. I've been wanting this for 20 years. I've had a family in between. Why live in quiet desperation? Let me see what I can do to kind of move this forward, move the needle forward on this garden center. So I, like I had said, I worked for Harley-Davidson, and I'm part of a very large riding group of women in the area.
Is that right?
Yeah, the Litas of Southern Pines. So we've ridden all over. We've ridden to Texas. We've ridden to, I've ridden to New York, a few places on the bikes, and it's been great. But that was usually a meetup spot for us. We'd all meet at High Octane, and I thought, well, everyone has good things to say about that place and about the owner. I didn't even know Nicola's name.
Uh-huh.
So I just cold emailed her on a plane. And I decided to put together an event and just send it to her and see what happened. And she was over the moon. So receptive. I was shocked. I expected a lot more no's before I got a yes on that particular idea, which was to do a pop-up plant sale at a physical location, since, once again, I was working out of my garage. So then, after corresponding a little, I realized, oh my goodness, she put in her signature line 631, and her number. I'm like, she's from Long Island.
That's right. That's
And
right.
what are the chances?
You have you actually, the two of you have a lot in common. I met Nicola when she was pregnant with her youngest guy, and she started out as a real estate photographer, and I've seen her morph into an entrepreneur, where her time is almost no longer her own. She's got 3 kids, but everything she touches, she makes better, and the goodness of her intentions come shining through.
Yeah.
And now, when she told me about you, now I can see where the two of you can be on the same plane, sharing the same chemistry and the same rhythms. So I saw some beautiful pictures of, it looked like you set up a farmer's market at High Octane in a parking lot for an event.
Essentially.
And it helps her business and it helps your business, and, mutually beneficial. But it also seems that the people who frequent High Octane are all of a similar-minded spirit, and there's something, it's like walking back in time a little bit. It's very organic about how she markets High Octane and what she offers to her clients, and I'm guessing some people go there as much for the coffee as for some of the events that she has become known to do.
It's funny. People go to High Octane for Molly and Sadie and Jenna, who work behind the bar there, the coffee bar.
Yeah.
And they really come to see Nicola. She sits in the same seat every day.
Right.
And the patrons take turns being able to sit across from her and just share what's going on in their life, maybe unload. And it's always easier for somebody else to carry something on their shoulders if you're feeling a little emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But people I think are attracted to that place because they want a little more of that in their life. I genuinely think that the community there is just magnetic.
Yeah.
And I love it for that. Nicola in particular,
Yeah.
she's a lot like yourself. And I wonder if that was a seed that maybe you planted. That if she comes across somebody who is putting forth effort and wants to build something that she's
Right.
whatever she can do, she will try to do.
Yeah.
You know.
I love people who have freedom of spirit to take risks, who have dreams, because a lot of people have dreams but don't know how to execute, or once it starts, they don't know how to follow through.
Right.
And so that's why you see so many startups not proceed going forward. But, it seems like you have your blinders on and you are highly focused on growing what has become a dream that maybe has evolved over the last 20 years now.
Sure.
And go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's interesting that you say that, because when I was working for this startup, the founder, it was pretty wild to watch him. He started through seed round, then A round, and he's trying to get money for this company, and he's basically creating an online garden center.
Okay.
That is AI empowered. And this man leveraged his home at one point.
Okay.
The business was doing poorly, but if it had that cash infusion, which was so high risk, he wound up borrowing against his house. His wife was okay with it. And now it's turning over I think it's up to 3.5 million a year.
I hope they stayed married and she didn't give up on him.
She was a gangster of a woman.
Wow.
She was like, "Yep, I'm here for your dream." I'm like, "Good for you."
Wow.
Yeah, but that being said, it was a collection of experiences that kind of get you through the gut-wrenching points. I'm going through a gut-wrenching point right now. It's just you get leveraged at the beginning, and that's okay. That's the risk you take on. And I saw Mario do it. I've seen Jeremy Rust of Eldig do it. He really took his business, LDig, and he put it at the edge of risk. He was going to, either fold or move forward and grow the business exponentially on that USGA job that he did. That was a huge leap for him. So being able to watch others there has made it a little bit easier for me. Like, oh yeah, this too will pass. But accepting the worst case scenario, I think, was the part that helped me. Like, okay, yeah, the business could fold tomorrow. I know that's not very optimistic, but what's the worst case scenario here? And can you live with that knowing you tried? And I'm like, yeah, I can.
Yeah. Dorothy, we have another old soul in the studio. You know that, right? Okay. We're going to come back in the second set. Rachael is the owner of Seedy'S Plants. We're going to talk more about the plants, more about the way she's growing her business on the ground, or grassroots, so to speak. This is All Things More County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the second set of All Things More County. Rachael Turecamo is our guest for the entire hour. She's the owner of Seedy'S Plants in Aberdeen. She brings a varied background of experience, both as in landscape design, as an educator, and of course as an entrepreneur. You talk a little bit about the subculture of Moore County, how people are so invested in beautifying their homes, much like you were talking about in Long Island, because they had these postage-sized stamp lots. But here, there is a subculture of gardening and landscaping and creating natural environments, and also the country club environments that where you're competing with your neighbor for the most beautiful yard.
Yeah.
But the subculture here is very ripe for what you do.
Yeah, I mean, you've always got an element of keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah,
you know, and it doesn't hurt that you have the tourist sort of community here that's derived from the resort. I mean, that certainly pumps, that into it. I find that people are more interested in dealing with their yard now because of devices. You've got a lot of people who they're attached to their device. They're always doing something for work that's related to a computer. So it's an escape. It's an escape into mindfulness.
Right.
The
lady that I have doing landscaping at my house, she takes their apps that I'm learning about, that you can take your phone, you can put it on the plant, and identify what it is.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm in the real estate world, so I don't hyper focus on it, but I do like to make the landscaping as beautiful and natural as possible. It's a great way to increase curb appeal and maintain value on your property. But what are these apps that you can just poke? You can put the flower there and the picture on the flower, and it will tell you what the variety is or the species.
So, man, there's a few different things that are being developed right now, and then things that are out on the market. Apple, obviously, if you take a picture with your phone, you can take a photo and then go into the photo, and there's actually a button that pops up, and it looks like a little leaf with a star on it. And if you click that, it'll actually identify the plant. And it does it, I would say, with like 90% accuracy.
Wow.
It's not going to give you a specialized variety. So if Proven Winners put out a new limelight hydrangea that's called Little Lime Punch or whatever it may be, it's not going to identify it to that degree of detail, but it's going to get you well on the road of what it actually is.
There are apps for wine, very similar.
Yes.
And I guess I'm showing my age and even asking the question. Say, Bill, get with it. So here's my question. With your varied background, but your extensive background in plants and landscaping, how much counseling and advice are you giving to your customers I remember as a kid growing up, there used to be, you have all these instructions and the people would be very helpful to help you. It's not like you're in a big box superstore just buying what you want to see in your garden, not knowing if the light is correct or what the correct soil conditions would be.
Sure.
Do you do a lot of that with your clients when they're purchasing and you're advising them which way to go depending on the season?
Yes, that's
I bet.
my job at the end of the day. I mean, I'm a steward of the plants. So I'll have people come to my shop and they'll bring a photo and I might sketch something on the photo for them and then give them a plant list or they purchase the plants. So I've been developing that as I go because it's a tremendous lift to put that much information somewhere for a customer to access.
Sure.
So at the moment where I'm starting is, okay, you bought herbs, you bought shrubs, whatever it may be. You can go on my website and just scroll through the plant material and identify it by picture, and all the care instructions are on there. Now, long game, what I'd like to be able to do is send out an email that's specific to that customer. Hey, it's time to fertilize that hydrangea. Or, hey, it's time to put pre-emergent on your lawn. So those things are already being done, but it's just kind of bootstrapping the business to the point where I can offer those services.
Do you ever foresee a time where you would be able to step a little bit outside of the retail aspect of your business and do landscape design at the same time?
I am doing that at the same
Oh,
time.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sleep as a stranger in spring, which is fine by me. I'm grateful for it. So right now I'm actually ordering plants for a fairly large design that I put a video on Instagram and Facebook for. But I will do a SketchUp model. I'll do a 3D model. I can do, like a photograph rendering. And then I'll give a plant list, give install pricing, give plant care, and create like a booklet for the customer when everything's said and done. And then I guarantee the plants for a year, because if you're paying for a professional, there should be some sort of warranty with it.
In the landscape design that you do you also do the planting, or do you send it out to subcontractors?
At the moment, I'm subcontracting unless it's a really small job. So I work with a young couple. They're fantastic. It's modernized outdoor living.
Okay.
And their hardscape work is incredible.
Really?
Oh, my goodness. I'm very, very happy about that partnership. And so I go to them whenever I have a customer and like, okay, what does this look like for installed price and so on.
So you could do the landscape design, and if the client happens to have somebody who they do that with, they'll go to their people. But if they don't, you can refer them to
modernized outdoor living. Yes.
Where are they based out of?
They're out of Vass.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get you to come to my house. I have an acre, and no, I'm serious. I have an acre and a quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and in Weymouth, the parcels are like they were 50 years ago.
Interesting.
They haven't changed, and the people that, with the demographic shifts over the years, people come into Weymouth and they want to preserve what those lots look like. They don't want to make them look 90 degrees symmetrical. They want them to flow naturally, and there's still an element of privacy. And the lot is large enough, and it's so interesting visually. No matter where you walk on the property, there's something attractive about it. And being in the real estate business for so many years, and growing up in Brooklyn, New York, where we didn't have, we used to cut our
Certainly.
grass with a pair of scissors. It took 3 minutes.
That's right.
And we had nothing but concrete and manhole covers. And so now living here in the South, it's like a blessing. And my sisters who live in Manhattan will come down, and they think they're in Central Park down
Sure.
here, except without all the noise. And so it's worth, for homeowners, it's worth investing in your property outside, because it's as important as the inside. if they're looking for total value and if people are moving, and that's a whole nother
Sure.
conversation.
Well, what was the quote? I don't recall if it was Charlie Munger or if it was Warren Buffett talking about if you want to increase the value of your home, landscaping is the number one and the best return on investment.
It's huge. We have people who buy property based more on the outdoor living space sometimes, and they'll take on the indoor living space. And it's where people want privacy. That's a real big thing. And it's hard in southern Moore County. It's not like it was 20 or 25 years ago. So if you're buying in a buffered area, you want to preserve that buffer.
Sure.
This year, I've noticed, and maybe you'll know this, every 50 to 70 years, bamboo goes through a cycle where it dies out.
Mm-hmm.
Where I live, there is a wall of bamboo in my front yard, and the house opposite, on the other side of the bamboo, is facing my house.
Right.
That bamboo is all dying.
Really?
Huh? And it's a disease that they get, and then they will, so it all has to be cut down. And you've got to go back and create that natural buffer.
Right. I wouldn't advise bamboo, though. It's pretty invasive.
Very invasive.
Yeah.
But we don't have a choice because the privacy that was so beautiful is gone.
Instantly.
You
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
And taking it down is so expensive. And I've had to take a lot of it down behind a carport. But my neighbors actually have the lion's share of it to take down because most of it, I'd say 90% of it, is on their property.
Okay.
And they sent a letter out to all the neighbors that are affected that they're going to have a company come in and do that this spring. So we're all planning on trying to rejuvenate that property. They're going to be putting up plans, I probably will as well, to recreate some sort of buffer.
Sure.
Because it's worth it to both of us. But bamboo's, once you have it, it's tough to kill.
Yes.
So here's my question. How do you kill it?
Slash and burn.
Seriously.
I mean, quite literally. I mean, what I advise people on any aggressive plant, it could be bamboo, it could be wisteria, which is very common down here. Just to accept the fact that it is a labor that is going to stretch over a few years. So using Roundup is the easiest part of that, the easiest, way to start. And when you're painting Roundup on it, you want to try and put it on the plant post mid-July. And the thought process there is the plant is actually starting to store energy toward its roots. So you're pushing Roundup systemically downward. Now, bamboo is even more aggressive than that. So you have to cut it to the ground,
Right.
and then you got to be careful about digging it out. A lot of times I'd advise getting a machine, and then every time you break a plant, you're creating two new plants. So you try to dig out as much of it as you possibly can, and you really do need a machine for that because it's just so fibrous.
I'm sure people come to you when they're shopping retail plant for your plants, maybe issues that they have or things they would like to see. So I'm imagining that a sale also comes along with a free conversation at the same time, right?
That's right.
And so you're connecting eyeball to eyeball, and that's really how you begin and how you start to grow. When we come back in the third set, I want to talk to you a little bit about how you source, where you get your plants from, what people can look for, and what the advantages are, especially versus big box retailers. Because you can see parking lots filled with flowers this time of the year, and half the people, it's like they don't know what they're buying. They're just,
That's right.
That's pretty.
Yes.
I'll buy 5 of those and we'll stick them in the ground.
That's right.
Rachael Turecamo is our guest. Seedy'S Plants is her business, but her spirit with her business is what's as impressive. And the article in November in the pilot, I liked it. I'm glad that they contacted you or you contacted
They contacted
them.
me.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our third set of All Things Moore County. Our guest for the hour is Rachael Turecamo. She's really a bright light as an entrepreneur. Honestly, your commitment to what you're doing, comes through loud and clear. The caring comes through.
Thank you.
Definitely does.
Yeah. The passion.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really what translates. So we were talking about you doing landscape design. So if you come out to someone's home and you'll be with them for an hour and you do a site plan for them with suggestions, can I ask, what do you normally charge to do that?
So what I like to do is a site visit. The site visit is an hour long. It's $200.
Okay.
And essentially what I do is create a plant list, what will work in their space.
Perfect.
And then if they want to come back and order the plants that I had on that plant list, I give them 10% off. Now, if that site visit turns into, hey, you need something a little more formal, you have an HOA to submit to, I'll
Right.
charge for an actual design. And my designs are based on the square footage of what it is I'm actually designing. And I'll take the price of that site consult off. So as a round number, if it was $1,000 to do a drawing, a formal design, then I would take $200 off of that and you'd be paying $800.
So it's very user-friendly.
As much as I can be.
Well, as much as you can be.
Right.
Which talks about something that's really interesting that I wasn't going to bring up. But the risks of being an independent retailer are high. The risks of going it on your own are high. And what I found over the years, people who are hyper-focused on a goal and who are 100% committed, they don't look to their left or right and pay attention to what the competition is doing. They just stay hyper-focused on what they're doing, and you build your client base eyeball to eyeball, one by one.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you stay 100% committed to it, and it's part of you, as opposed to being a job. It's not a job. It's what you do.
It's kind of like running a race, and a lot of people do this, and it's just out of ignorance. It's not out of malice or anything bad. It's you're looking to your left and your right to see where you are in terms of the race, who's placing,
Yeah.
But I love to run, so I'm not really looking.
You're smart. Do you work with landscape people who have their own company who will come in and source from you, or is that your next step where you have a retail trade, you have a landscape business trade, different levels?
Yes, so I do. I love to help other people in the industry. So if anyone like a landscaper or even another garden center, I've had other companies reach out to me and say, hey, I want to source this material. I've seen that you've carried it, because freight is high.
Yeah.
So my feeling is rising tides raise all ships, and I give a good discount to wholesale,
Yes.
to industry
Yes.
people.
Yes. As far as sourcing your materials, your plants, your flowers, is it statewide? Do you go outside of North Carolina?
So for outdoor material, I try to keep it within North and South Carolina, and my notion there is it's reared in the area. The chances of success are much higher because of that. You're not going to shock the plant from bringing it from another zone.
That makes sense.
Any of my indoor plants I source from Florida because it's just where most people source indoor plants, or they source it from California. But for unusual stuff, I go anywhere in the country. I've been very fortunate. I have a pretty wildly expansive network when it comes to growers and wholesale nurseries throughout the country.
In terms of quality, I don't know enough about plant farms to maybe ask the right question, but there are different levels of quality from plant farm to plant farm.
Sure.
My guess is you source differently than maybe the big box retailers.
Mm-hmm.
And
So probably the best example would be Lowe's. Most people go there because if they're thinking they need garden supplies, and that's a generalized term, they're not really sure what they need, they go to Lowe's.
One-stop shopping.
Right. And I understand that. Our time is precious and it's a level of convenience. But their material is all sourced from one particular grower out of Florida and South Carolina.
Okay.
And they'll source quality material. In fact, that grower is very good about what they do. They're cutting edge, but they usually source material that's slightly smaller that a customer wouldn't really notice.
Okay.
So they would charge maybe for a perennial in a quart size what a garden center would charge for a gallon size. Or you might buy a shrub there and the shrub is in a 2-gallon pot versus a garden center where it's in a 3-gallon pot, but they would be the same prices.
Oh.
Yeah. But
Okay.
the quality is high. You know, they do get good material in. Unfortunately, they don't hire qualified people to
Plant.
to maintain it.
Are you seeing an increase in shipping costs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody is in the same boat. Everybody, I liken it to the Empire State Building. 8 months ago, everybody was living on the 45th floor. Now the price of oil has gone up, and we've all gone down to the 23rd floor. Mm-hmm. We're still all looking at each other eyeball to eyeball, but we're all weathering the storm from a lower, with more expenses in mind.
Sure.
And it's tough,
Yeah.
especially on independent retailers. So does it force you to consolidate shipments and instead of maybe doing less orders and putting them together so that they're more efficient when they're delivered?
Sure.
Less
So
expensive.
the best time of year to source plants, that is a lot of what I do. People will come to me and say, hey, I'm looking for this particular thing, and I'll source it for them. But that always puts more risk on the business. I'm paying more in freight, right? So to educate the consumer a bit, a garden center, and this statistic is crazy, a garden center makes 80% of their annual profit in spring. So if there's ever a time to handle freight costs,
Makes
it's
sense.
now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
If people, you have a website.
I do.
What is the website?
It's Seedy'S Plants, so it's SEEDYS plants.com. And I actually sell my plant material online. I know that it's not easy for people to carve out time.
Right.
So you can jump onto my website, order it, and just select that you want to pick it up at the shop, or you could have it delivered. And I try to make it as simple as possible.
Okay. Do you also, now that you have a place on North Poplar Street, 301 North Poplar?
Correct.
And that's where you're selling the goods. Do you go to farmers markets? Do you venture out in the public to gain more exposure?
I have before. I had an actual shop, and this is very new. My shop, I've been in there for a week now, and I'm still working on copying myself. So at the moment, I'm probably not going to be venturing out as much because I need to maintain that shop and train somebody to stand there while I go.
You have 2 sons.
I do.
And their ages?
14 and 11.
Have they been involved with Mom in the business at all? Do they observe? Do they want to help?
My oldest is going to the NFL. That is.
Oh, he's going to be a football player.
He is.
Which team will he play for when he gets drafted?
He's a big Pats fan. Really loves
New England.
Drake May. He's
Okay.
a mega fan of Drake May.
Okay. So
But yeah, he told me that is what he's going to do, and that's that.
Okay.
And I see it. He is exceptional at sports and very, very focused. Unbelievable focus.
What school does he go to?
He goes to what is it, Southern Middle.
Is he on the football team?
Yes.
Yeah. What position?
They actually have him in receiver.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. But they'll push him around to different positions. But yeah, mostly receiver.
What about your youngest?
My youngest, he is my musician. He's going to be a rock star.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my wild child. And he loves the business. He probably would, of my 2 sons, I think that my youngest, he really would love to be doing what mom does.
So it looks to me like, I mean, you're also a good role model for them because they're seeing their mom running her own business. Yes, being a mom, but hey, mom has other responsibilities as well, and they may not register it now and acknowledge it, but they observe, and it will stay with them as they get older, and you're providing them with a really good role model for the times we live in.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think that, it's such a cool area that we live in. You talk about subcultures here.
Right.
Right now, they're both in rugby. So there's
wow.
Southern Pines Youth Rugby.
Okay.
And it's a bunch of upper echelon military guys who put it together. And now, I mean, it's exploded, the numbers of kids that are participating in this. And I think about those guys. I'm like, man, how lucky they are that they get exposed to top tier military personnel, and those are the men that are leading them,
Right.
So I think they get some good stuff from mom, they get some great stuff from their dad, and they get some great stuff from those coaches out there. So the what they've been exposed to or what they consider normal is far and above what anyone else would consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It brings back that expression, it takes a village. And it does.
It does.
If people want to get in touch with you, they can go through your website.
Yes.
And get in touch with you there. Or you want to give your phone number out, or you want?
Sure.
It is
516-903-9006.
You kept that Long Island. You kept 516.
I did, yeah. Couldn't let it go.
Moore County is home for you.
It is.
It's home for your boys, and this chapter in your life is on the ascension, going up, and I definitely want you to come, and I want to do the Our Site viewing with me.
That would be great.
It's really, the more I live in this area, the more I appreciate what it is. And all you have to do is get in your car and drive up to D.C. or Baltimore or New York and go, oh, my God, let me get out of here. It's crazy. Do you miss Long Island?
I miss the food.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I miss
food.
the food big time. But other than that, not really.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is such a great place to wake up in the morning.
It is.
Rachel, it's great to have you on. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
And if passion accounts for anything, you're on your way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Rachel, thanks. This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week.